welcome back to a Wednesday Icon Talk. This is yours truly, His Excellency Dakar, and I'm the CEO of Dakar Marketing Tools, as well as the director here at GODSU, and the co-host and engineer for our shows. And this is our Wednesday Icon Talk, and tonight we're going to be featuring our Assistant Dean of Students, Dr. Richard D. Myles, Senior Chaplain, and he is the CEO and chairman, as well as the founder of Minor Football League. And I'm gonna pass it over to my wonderful co-host, the Right Honorable Her Excellency, Dr. Diane Moore-Eubanks. Please take us away.
Thank you, thank you. And this is not just a Wednesday icon. This is the MOGULS, okay? Men of God, unleashing legacy successfully. And today's guest is none other than one of my favorite people, Dr. Richard Myles. That's right. So Washington, D.C. native, entrepreneur and businessman, Richard Myles Sr., that's Doctor to you, is the CEO, chairman, and founder of the nation's only professional minor football league. Myles created the Minor Football League, the MFL, in 1993 to serve youth in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. An NFL veteran and sociology major who graduated from Arizona State University. Myles has used his professional and academic experience to develop and implement drug prevention, violence reduction, and conflict resolution programs. And so, without further ado, I am just so excited and elated. And you know, that's just a minor bio. We're gonna learn a lot more than him. So Dr. Myles, welcome, welcome. How are you?
And thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for having us as well. I just wanna get right into it. What inspired you to formulate the Minor Football League? What was that deep thing inside of you that let you know that God made you walk on the earth to provide us with the MFL?
Well, absolutely. Well, first of all, I have to thank God for this, because had not been for football, I would not have had the opportunity to go to college. And I also want people to understand that people's opinion of you don't have to be your reality. Because I was a typical young man growing up in the city, getting in trouble and stuff, you know. But I had that God gift. And I'm unfortunate, I wasn't fortunate, like most people, parents could afford to go to school, pay their way. But I could play football. That was my God gift. And that's what something he blessed me with. And I went to Cardozo High School here in Washington, D.C., made All-Met and All-American, went to Arizona State. It was hot out there. I mean, it's kind of hot there. It was so hot you had to practice at night. But I understand that if I want to be successful, I had to keep up academically. You know, you still have to excel academically. And I made sure that I was a student athlete as opposed to being an athlete, you know. And, you know, I struggled a little bit, but when I got the chance to really get settled and, you know, get my classes together, then I did. And the football part was easy, you know, it was in the classroom. But I held up my part of the bargain, and I got out there. I was happy, you know, got picked up in the second round of that other league. I don't name them too much now because I'm less competitive, but that was my blessing. I thank them for that. But I also knew that I have to do something different, because sitting there watching all this and watching all the money and seeing that a lot of kids did not get an opportunity. And I tell people all the time, it's not that you're not good enough to play in the NFL, it's not enough room. So I said to myself, wait a minute, everybody have a minor league system but the NFL. Okay, you have minor league baseball, D-League basketball, hockey, never minor league football. Of course, you had other little groups out there starting stuff, calling themselves semi-pro. I'm quite sure you heard of that. But, you know, I say there's no such thing as semi-pro. Either you're pro or you're not. That was just an ignorant term people use to justify sandlot football. And I have to give my count my blessing, because I didn't really have to invent the wheel. I noticed I did get a lot of money, but I also had a family too. And when a lot of people don't see your vision like you see it, and I was married, and she didn't. You know, she wanted to, you do 9 to 5, but after playing at a level like that and had some money, you find out that everybody you think they're your friend, not your friend. Everybody got their hand held out, and you think you're gonna save the world, but you can't. And I have owned a lot of businesses, very successful businesses, but I always wanted to, you know, always go back where I come from, because I used to have this old guy used to always tell me, he said, Myles, if you ever be successful, would you forget where you come from? And I looked at him, I said, no. He said, you sure? I said, no, I will never forget where I come from. So therefore, I went back to, you know, because I was one of the so-called at-risk youth. But all I did was implement the things I went through in my lifetime. You know, I never drank, smoked, but my friends did. And they used to thought I was crazy because I didn't do anything. So sometimes I question, and I know I was one of those so-called at-risk youth that you hear people talk about all the time. So I said I can come up with something because I've been through all that. I was blessed that God stirred me another way, but I came up with the program, No Thugs, No Drugs. And a lot of people liked the name of it, but they didn't understood the significance of it. No Thugs, No Drugs mean, you know, drugs don't walk in your neighborhood. If you get rid of the thugs, you get rid of drugs. See, the drug dealers bring the drugs in. So if you get rid of them, then you alleviate the drug problem. Also, we know this, we always had problems with young men getting in trouble. And as you know, once you get in trouble, you know, then you the 3 strike you out. Once you get in trouble one time, you're gonna get in trouble again. Now you can't vote or anything. So I came up with this program called Early Youth Offenders Program. So that program was consist of what we did, we put a body on the body. And it's hard to really bear down on young people to help them academically when their mother and father can't read that well. So see, a lot of people hide that when a lot of people, well, my father don't help me. It's hard to tell your son or your daughter that you can't read. So you make all kinds of excuses not to help them. So my players had to do, I make sure the players had to do 100-hour community service. So we would go down to court, we would get these cases and we'd tell them, we'll put a body on the body, which we would take these young guys that were playing ball, we check on them in school, we check on them at home, and then we'll write an extensive report on them, why this young man shouldn't be incarcerated. So when you go back to court, then we tell the judge, well, we were asking, well, Your Honor, this is why this young man should be incarcerated. Because now he got somebody to look up to. And remember, I want everybody to understand, because I don't want to give the wrong message. I tell people all the time, don't look up to football players. You know, athletes are human and they make mistakes too. So before you start praising them, and then these young men, when something happened, everybody want to condemn them. But keep in mind where these young men come from. They come from the hood. Now, because you got money, that doesn't really change anything, only your lifestyle somewhat. But if you're not smart enough, that's why 90% of the guys lead the NFL broke. Okay, so let me move back a little bit. So these programs I designed was so good that they was funded by the state of Maryland. You know, all the politicians, Ike Legg, and I got an opportunity to meet all of them, the county executive, and you know, people liked what I was doing. But what was so funny was I had this football minor league team. So everybody was like, wow, but I was telling everybody, football is a program. They said, what do you mean? It's called Athletes in Motion. So they said, what? Athletes in Motion. That's what this program was called. Then we was a 501c3. So Ike Leggett, I don't know if you remember him, county executive, Montgomery County. He said, if you come out here, and Doug Duncan told me, if you come out here, they just got a little more than what they bargained for with me. Because, you know, I'm not used to being from Washington, D.C. I'm not used to people telling me no. And it's okay, but then you got to explain to me why. See, you can't just tell me no, I'm gonna walk away. So when, and credit to Doug Duncan, he said, because they told me I couldn't use no facilities. I said, well, I'm paying for it. I ain't asking you, give me nothing for free. And he said, well, we just don't do that. So I called a press conference and I said, you know, Montgomery County is one of the most racist counties in America. And they said, get him, get a meet with him quick, you know. So they came, brought me in. Ike Leggett at the time was the county council president. So they would go back and forth. I said, Ike, could you come? I'm trying to get a feel. I came in there, we had a board, all white people. They said, well, we don't let people use our field because we want to get them ready for, I said, but we're playing in the summer. There's no school in the summer. Yeah, well, we just don't have nobody there. And Ike is a shrewd politician. Ike stays on the fence. That's why we became good friends. Ike sitting there and said, yeah, we can't have people tearing our fields up and I'm in agree with y'all. I look, you know, so Ike looked at his watch and said, I have another meeting to go to, but I'm glad y'all all had this meeting. He walked to the door and turned around. He said, work out what you need to work out, but the Chiefs get the field. And then he walked out. Now, he listened to both sides, but he was the authoritative figure, and he told him, I don't care how you do it, but the Chiefs get the field. You see, now we had people of color rallying behind each other, you know, and I tell people all the time, because you're my complexion, I don't make you my kind. And as you know, we do have people in our ranks that do that type of thing. But then I had Chris Van Hollen, I'm quite sure you know him, all of them, what do you need from us? And they were calling me coach. I said, the coach, you know, but that's what they called me, you know, hey, Mr. Myles, Mr. Myles. And it was so ironic. And it just goes to show you how God worked in mysterious ways. Mel Ford, my chief strategy officer, he's always saying, hey, Dr. Myles. Everybody would say Dr. Myles. I said, but I ain't no doctor. They will always say that. Herman Taylor, you remember him? We helped him get elected. When they needed, we mobilized the MFL, Washington, we mobilized everything. We was at the different metro stations handing out flyers. We was upstate putting stuff on cars. And all of them tell you, the Chiefs mobilized everybody. Not that I want to pat on the back, but I see brothers that's doing something. And if you're doing something, then I'm going to help. You know, so these are some of the types of things that we was doing in the county and leaving DC. And then, as you know, everybody said, well, why can't you come on back to DC? But I think they thought we was a football team, and we was really a 501c3. We had programs different than the norm. You know what I mean? That's what made us so unique. And we went in the playground, we went in the areas where there was high risk. Lincoln Park, you familiar with that? In Rockville? We went to Lincoln Park, cleaned that up. They would send us to all the places that you know, Montgomery County not known for trouble because they think because they're the richest county in the world. Montgomery County had a lot of problems, but then again, they had the Washington Chief. We would go implement programs. I've been in neighborhoods where people have drawn guns on me and all that. And I told them, I said, hey, look, and I used to always tell them, Jackson, I say, wait a minute, you get me confused. I ain't from Maryland. I'm from DC. So what you doing, that don't scare me. If you're not gonna use it, you better, and they will go, take the gun, come back. So I'm sorry, Mr. Myles, we just wanna come in. I send all the little kids in there, we implement our program, you still can't come in. I would go to bat for some of the kids. I had police officers, law enforcement on the team. Can you imagine that? But all of them got along respectfully because they knew how I was. And I had some nice clergymen that helped me, Reverend Grant in Rockville. You might have heard of him. He had the church out there in Rockville. And he always told me, he said, you're a rough guy, Mr. Myles, but in order to get what you want, you got to be a little easy. I said, no.
Absolutely not.
He said, you know, and I have learned over the years, you know, the one thing about me, what you see is what you get. You know, I'm not a puppeteer and, you know, no strings attached to me. It's what you get. And if I say something, you can take it to the bank.
That's right.
If I can't do it, I'm not going to do it.
That's
But if
right.
you ask me something, if I could do it, I can do it. If I can't, I'm man enough to say, I can't do it. At least you respect the fact that I'm honest as opposed to saying, I'm gonna. If you ain't gonna do nothing, say you're not gonna do it. You know, so
Yeah.
these are the type of things that I would do in a, I did Special Olympics. You know, I coached that. I coached women, girls basketball, won 2 championships back to back. I coached boys basketball in the hood. I mean, football, everything had to do with kids. I was about that. I would, you know, they give us money, I get the money away. I had all of the stores, Whole Food, all the big apartment stores. They would give us stuff. I take trucks down there, I mean, brand new stuff. You know how you go in the store, open something up, you don't want it, you sit back on the shelf. Well, they would give that to us. You know what I did? I gave it to the families. We used to feed.
Beautiful, beautiful. Tell me something, Dr. Myles. What type of preparation are you doing with your current MFL players so they don't end up like the other team, the other league, whereby within 6 years they're bagging grocery? Can you tell us some of the things that you're putting in place to protect?
I'm glad you asked that because we want to teach guys business, not business, but business. You know what I mean? Not the thing. And we want guys to understand business, and we don't want to turn them and help them so they understand entrepreneurship. You know, we want these guys to own these franchises. We want to offer guys a job as a GM here, which we paying them. We offer them coaches' jobs where you know, and these guys, it's always been a glass ceiling when it comes to Black coaches. Eddie Robinson, one of the greatest coaches ever. He never got an opportunity to coach in the NFL. Why? Because of that glass ceiling. And so people always talking about what that overlead should do. You can't tell somebody what to do with their lead. But we want to teach them entrepreneurship. You know, we want, you know, we have broadcast journalists, we have interns for that, marketing, PR, sports management. It's not enough Black sports management in this field, and that's something need. But we're teaching them how to understand how to put a business together, what the type of paperwork you need. You need the LLC and stuff. You can't make T-shirts. Okay, I got a business. No, no. You got to understand the logistics of it. You know, all the paperwork, so you won't have a business. But we preparing the guys for beyond the field, because you can't play football forever.
Excellent, excellent. So I know that that we wanted to discuss with you financial literacy with the gentleman, as how money works, getting ready for their retirement, making sure they have long-term care as you know, people do get in their 70s and 80s and all those bones that you've been running on, after a while they need some help. And you know, we really admire that you even stated that for each of your teams, whether here or globally, you wanted to make sure there was a GODSU chaplain on the team too, because so many times these guys, you know, they go from, you know, being in high school to college to doing well to not doing well to again going to do well, and then you have a lot of people who are trolling them. You know, maybe girls, it may be drugs, it may be other things trying to pull them away. And so by having a chaplain on every team, I think that's very smart. Kind of tell us about that and what your plans are globally for the MFL.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Ed. It's apparent that we have chaplains with all of these franchises, because a lot of these guys don't understand money. If you never had money, you don't know what to do with it. You know, and we tell guys all the time, you got to understand money. A lot of people think when you get in the NFL or professional league, you're getting all this money. First of all, you got to understand how the money runs, how it's broke down. First of all, Sam take his off top. So if you sign for 30 million, you ain't getting 30 million, because Sam taking 10 to 15 of that off the top. If you got an agent, he gonna take his, okay? Secondly, if you got baby mama drama, those kids gonna get that money too. So you done ran out there and bought them cars, bought them houses. That's why they live from paycheck to paycheck, because they have nobody to teach them financial literacy. You don't understand that. And that's something that we do. A lot of these guys said, we didn't know that. No one told them that. So these are the type of things, and thank God for y'all, your excellency, because y'all gonna play a great part in this, and you're gonna understand this partnership is going to be so significant for GODSU as well as it is for the MFL, because, you know, people got to understand that people tickle me when they come to me and say, 6 more months, I'll be retiring. You couldn't live off 2 checks. How you going to live off 1? You know, but that's the mentality they have. So what are you talking about? You glad you done work 40 years and you got nothing but a little small check that you really can't. So what you had before, now you got to cut down on it when you shouldn't. You look at it, you don't need a 10-bedroom house for what? You don't need 5 cars. You can only drive 1. We came to this country with chains around our neck. Why are you buying all that foolishness? You trying to impress people that don't care about you one way or the other. So see, when you look at it, but if you don't know, you don't know. That's why education is so important. But thank God, in the short time I've been here, I have to say I've learned a lot, because, you know, in the white universities, and when we were coming up, you know, they'll talk about history. No, that's history. We need to tell our story. And I learned a lot from being here, because now we can understand, tell our story and not be afraid to do it. So, you know, I tell everybody, don't get caught up in it. We're going to teach you. I want guys to put their money together, get what they got, the hip hop chicken. You heard of that? No, they got these new franchises out, and they doing.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
Hip hop chicken, and you can get a franchise for about 60 or 70,000 right now. And they got a lot of, you know, these are things that we need to understand. Entrepreneurship. We need to understand money and how it works and how it benefits us to own for a change. Own. Because we tend to get comfortable. We had them big jobs paying 100, 25,000. Now they no longer here, and people going crazy. Then you got to reinvent yourself. So these are the type of things that we don't understand business. And thank God for y'all, because what you're doing is teaching. Even a person like myself, and everybody say, you so successful, you doing this. I still got a lot to learn, you know, and I'm not crazy enough that I don't listen to other people. Some people egos, I have a big ego, but I always listen, because I never tell nobody, I don't know everything. I tell people in a minute, but you know, we can find a solution to whatever problem we may have, if any at all, but being realistic, excuse me, I understand business. You know, I lost a lot of money, and I got it back again. You know, I owned a very successful club, still got the liquor license. They fought me like I don't know what. They get a liquor license in DC, but I got it. So these are some of the type of things that why y'all so important in what you're doing. You're educating people of color in terms of our story, not his story. His story is foolishness. So we got to understand what this means, like the move to Africa. When I met Dr., oh my God, on the tip of my tongue, she was speaking this Wednesday. I was so impressed with her.
Dr. Arikana.
Yes.
Dr. Arikana.
My God, when she invited me to the African Union, and I told her, I said, the MFL will come. She said, oh my God, who is this guy? You know, and she said, you talking about stuff that most African Americans don't say. I told her, welcome to the United Snakes of America. She said, you know, and I said, this is the home of the Constitution, not the Constitution, the Con, because all this is a con. She said, I like this guy. So, but I'm who I am, and it's very important to take 16 franchises over in Africa. Do you realize how big that is? You realize how people say, well, we got people lined up right now, Excellency. They, you know, because of the denim, everybody say, oh, that hurt you. That was a blessing. God, it was a blessing.
Everybody's in place. You can reach everybody now because they have nowhere else to go.
What? And everybody like, so all of these stations, like now, I got to go on the show and stuff. People want me to come on this show and everything. Well, what is it y'all doing that the big leagues are not doing? Do you know I had somebody tell me, well, we want to do our state. Could you send me your business plan? I said, why would I send you my business plan? Well, I said, but why would I do that? Why would I do that? You understand?
Makes no sense. You know, they don't know they're dealing with an icon. They're dealing with a genius, you know. That's just disrespectful.
That way it stays in the hands of people of color. We're talking about generational wealth, you know.
Absolutely. And keeping the money in the community and passing it around. That's one of the, in fact, we have a course coming up October the 6th to the 27th, taught by none other than His Excellency, Dr. Michael V. Roberts. He says, Action Has No Season 2.0. We also have Wealth Has No Race. We also have the history of Africans, the history of clergymen, the history of, we're teaching folks so that they can be able to stand on the foundation of their people and stand on the foundation of everything that we've done, you know, since before Timbuktu, you know, before Kemet. People really don't know who they are. If they did, they'll hold their head up. You know, this gentleman here, 23 years old, been doing business for the last 6 years, you know, never had his pants down to his waist, never did any of those things. That's because he knows his history. And we believe that through the MFL and through the partnership that we've been doing, that we can change lives. We can teach these young men. I've been moving money for the last, as a financial advisor for over 20 years. That we have classes. We have a class coming up right now on, you know, why money matters and why we should take care of financial literacy. Every single one of them need to be in that class, because if you're just used to getting the money given to you and just going to vendors and buying jewelry and buying clothes and buying, you're telling me about this gentleman, what was his name? A boxer who he never wears this, what's his name?
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather, who, you know, never bothered, you know, he doesn't even wear the same shoes, underwear, socks, or suit or whatever. Once he wears it, he doesn't wear it again. We have to teach people that we have to stop being consumers. You know, why not own those businesses? You know, why not manufacture that stuff? You know, why just go in the store and give Gucci and Louis Vuitton your money? Why not be an owner, have your own brand, and keep it in the community? So that is why we're so pleased to partner with you in terms of chaplaincy, in terms of learning financial literacy, in terms of making sure that our resources are open to you as you go to the 55 countries in Africa.
Have you ever met Floyd Mayweather?
No, I've only seen him.
I met him. I've been to his house. He always want to show you this and show you 20 cars. You can't drive but one. He carries around with him maybe $3 or $4 million. And he told me he's gonna buy a franchise. You show me all this, don't impress me. I told him, you know, I'm gonna do it, Myles. We would have beat the NFL out long time ago. We was going out there to Vegas, but he kept beating around the bush. So I stopped calling him. Maybe if you talk to him, maybe this guy don't understand the games that they are playing with him now. They got him, he done lost sight on everything now. You know,
and the more hits to the head, the more concussions, it's the more you lose reality of where you are and who you are and whose you are.
I tell people all the time, I said, you know, life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. That's why you find so many young people dying. If you think you're gonna sprint through this world, you forget it. And they wonder why old people, the day I was in the meeting, the guy said, you what? I said, I'm 65. He said, no. I said, yeah.
Try 50. You don't look a day over. But tell me something. I want to find out if someone is interested in getting one of your franchises, if someone is interested in, you know, buying a package so that they can be, you know, be able to watch the MFL, tell them how they can reach you. And this is going out to tens of thousands of people. So give them numbers and emails that you don't mind being bothered about, because we're going to get the word out there. Tell them how they can reach you.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. The franchises are selling for 2.5 with $250,000 down. And we know that the state of the economy now, no bank gonna loan you $2 million without putting $2 million on top interest. So we will finance the rest. Second, more important, you can reach us, mflishere.com. Our website is mflishere.com. Our email is mflexperience@gmail.com. The phone number is 240-551-8031. And what's so monumental about this is it's only a few franchises. After this, that's it. over and people think it's going to be a hard time going over to Africa. They're going to be gone. They're going to be gone. If the franchise is here, it's important. It's important that even me and you sit down and talk, because I tell people the MFL don't stand for the minor football league. And they said, what? The MFL stand for money for life if you own one. If you own one, because you can pass it down to your kids. We have everything. We have apparel, just like anything the NFL got, we have. But we're the laboratory of change, but we want people of color to own these franchises. And I've been over backwards to see that they own one. All they have to be is financial, you know. And my grandson told me, and the next time I talk to you, Your Excellency, he say, hey, granddaddy, colleges have one football team. Your college got 32. You know, I say, he said, y'all got 32 football teams. Wow, you know. And I said, yeah, but the significance of all this is we finally understand the game, the business game. And everything we're doing coincide with everything else. And religion has been the great denomination of Black people. You know, we tend to, you know, but we need people such as yourself to, you know, you got to open your eyes. Just praying is not going to get anything done.
Absolutely not. Move them feet, move those hands. You gotta do some work, action.
And they always tell me, you're always moving. I said, when you're dead, you ain't got to worry about moving. You ain't got to worry about getting up, paying no
Or
bills.
sleeping, because you have all the sleep in the world.
But right now, I'm gonna keep on moving and stuff. That's what I do.
Awesome, awesome. This is monumental. Can you please list the franchises that you have right now, so people know what they can't get? Can you list what franchises you have right now?
That's available. Down in Tennessee, we have the Patriots. In Florida, we have the Bears. In Georgia, we have the Warriors. Okay. In Arkansas, the 49ers. Okay. In New Jersey, we have the Raiders. In upstate New York, we have the Chargers. Up in Michigan, we got the Steelers. Okay. In Texas, we got the Rams. And in Eastern Texas, we got the Cardinals. Okay. Down here, we have the Washington Chiefs. We have the Colts in Maryland. These are the franchise. In New Mexico, we got the Saints. You know, so as you can see, Oklahoma, we have the Cowboys in Oklahoma. So these are the 6. Down in New Orleans, we had the Louisiana Packers. Those are the, now out of that number I told you, 3 of the franchises have been sold already. Dr. Freeman, you know, he bought the franchise up there in upstate New York. And then I said, so we had a few of them being sold, and we're negotiating with people now. We got 5 more people with bringing money to the table now as we speak. Because I told you about Texas, you know, as a preacher up there, he have a whole bunch of buses, and he want to give, he said, how much do he need to put down to be a partner in the MFL. So it's something I would like to talk with you too, probably out there, because so many big things is going on here. Like I tell people all the time, I get up in the morning, Chancellor, and I call people and I tell them God's in charge. They say, why you say that? I say, people might think they're in charge, but God's in charge. We're not in charge. You know, although we might think that.
That's
you
right.
know, Dr. Myles, you said it every morning because it's true. And I know you understand, but like I say, prayers is not enough to get this done. We're going to fight this battle ourselves. We can no longer wait. We can no longer keep telling people, we need y'all to do this. We can't have people to do anything for us. We're going to have to do it ourselves.
Be self-sufficient, self-sufficient. Well, thank you so much. And Dr. Myles, as usual, it's a pleasure, it's an honor, it's a privilege to speak with you, to learn from you, to teach with you. We have some programs coming up. We have 15 courses outside of the regular religious courses that we roll out next week as we introduce you to the students and have you speak as the assistant dean who is over or any expansion in terms of sports, etc., and students and bringing students to GODSU. We're so excited to have you. And we're now going to introduce not only you, but 19 other outstanding volunteers for GODSU. As you know, you are the #1 this week. You've been outstanding. And so I'm going to pass it on to my co-host. Look at this man, the way he's dressed. I can't even sit beside him. His Excellency, Dakar Eubanks, please take it away.
Awesome. So we have King Nana Obakese Ampa, Chaplain, who is the founder and president, Obakese University of Excellence, CEO for a Year of Return Legacy Project. We have Reverend Dr. Adram C. Dike, president of Caribbean and African Faith-Based Leadership Conference, also known as the CAFBLC. We have helping with the following, helping with administrative work, our Vice Chancellor, His Excellency, Dr. Willis Eubanks, Chaplain, who is the CEO of Global Alliance Technical Services. Dean, His Excellency, Reverend Dr. Joseph Hickman, Chaplain, who is the founder of JH Global Consultancy. Director, Her Excellency, Cairo, Denise Rose Eubanks, UNCSR, CLC, CEC Chaplain, CEO Cairo Speaks. And we have helping with public relations for GODSU, our new Miss Miramar, we have our new outstanding team for Miramar, Florida, Sudan Eubanks, who is also a junior ambassador of GODSU, and she is CEO of Sudan Dolls and CEO of Sudan E-Consultancy. Chief Gladys Ime Ekwa, Chaplain, CEO, Good Shepherd Health Services, Inc. We have Pastor Emmanuel Ekwalar, who is the Chief Media Executive Director of Cinema Movie Empire Film Production. And we have our Mogul,
Yes.
Assistant Dean, Dr. Richard D. Myles, Senior Chaplain, who is the CEO and Chairman, as well as founder of Minor Football League, also known as Money for Life.
It's a blessing to be a part of GODSU. I've learned a lot in this first short time in terms of, I already knew who I was, but learning our story and understanding it from a Black perspective. And they educate you, and then you ask these same individuals, they educate you, uneducated as that. But then again, I stayed and got my degree, but more importantly, it's a blessing to be here. I'm looking forward to work with y'all. You're excellent. You know, I can't say enough about you, so I'll be here all day. So I won't say anything too much, but about that. But it's great to be a part of here, the school, and the school means a lot to me. And anybody interested in being a part of the MFL, you know, you can contact us. The website is mflishere.com. And also our email is experiencedthemfl@gmail.com, because you have to experience what we're doing, and we are the laboratory of change. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have Assistant Dean, Dr. Grace Any Ekpenyong, Chaplain, who is founder of the Janet Foundation. And also we have Assistant Dean, Dr. Charles Olawale, Principal Consultant of Graffiti Consulting, Inc. We have our Reverend Dr. Spencer Holman, Chaplain, who is CEO of Father Time. And we have one of our recent graduates, Reverend Dr. Lilithia Davis, Chaplain, who is CEO and founder of Dior to Live in Overflow.
Yes. Hello, 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 everyone. honor to be a part of GODSU. I want you to know that GODSU is not a seminary and university, but it is a educational institution that empowers individuals to reach their full potential by pushing and empowering individuals to birth out that is within them. And so the university does not just, you don't just graduate and then they forget about you. Oh my God, no, they don't. They will continue to reach out to you and make sure that what you are doing is bringing out the best in you, and they will help push out what is inside of you, that greatness that is inside of you. And that's what I love about GODSU. And I'm so honored and so pleased to be a part of the family. I am Reverend Dr. Lolithia Berard Davis, chaplain, a recent graduate of Global Overday Seminary and University. I am the founder and CEO of The Or to Live in Overflow, where I am called to reach the masses through intercessory prayer and Christian counseling and financial freedom, so that wherever you are stuck in a place where it is causing you not to move forward in the promises of God, I am here to release that freedom, that you may be free to live in the overflow of the blessings of God, released from bondage and going forward. And also special products, Christian gift products that are offered to individuals. I'd love for you to reach out to me at Free to Live at 47 free, the number 2, live 47 at hotmail.com. And you may call me at 346-224-0784. Thank you and have an awesome day.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have our Designate Dr. Deacon Patricia Page Chaplain, who's the CEO of Patricia's Inspirational Learning and Training Center and the CEO of Patricia's House of Fashion. And we have another recent graduate, Imam Dr. Salahuddin Muhammad Chaplain, who is founder of Muhammad's Marriage and Relationship Services.
Yes, so happy to be here with you all. Okay, I want you to know that it's really been a blessing and an honor to be a part of GODSU. It is a university and seminary that can only go up. It can only go up. It can't go down. It came from down and it's going up, and we are part of it, and I'm happy about that. So as you just heard, I have a business, and I hope it grows, called Muhammad's Marriage and Relationship Services. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can call me at 914-475-2605, or you can go on my website, www.imamsalahuddin.com. Just want to say again that it really is a blessing, it really is an honor to be involved with the Chancellor and all of those great people who are part of GODSU. And I'm telling you, we're going to take the world on. No limitations on what we are going to be able to do, because we have something in us. They tried to take it from us, but they couldn't do it. And we're going to make it manifest. So I'm happy to be a part of a group that have that same idea and that will bring this thing into fruition. So thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Oh, it's our pleasure. And so we're so pleased to have our Mogul here, online. And then, of course, our top two students, alum, professors, volunteers, just talking about how wonderful GODSU is. And always remember, in everything that you're doing, if someone throws bricks at you, use that to build the foundation of your definite purpose. If someone tries to bury you, just be a seed and let whatever God has placed in you, let it grow, let it prosper, and let the fruits be there. There are trees right here that they have looked on that have been here for millions of years. And that's what we will do, because here at GODSU, while other people are planning to what they're going to do for the weekend, we're planning what's going to happen for the next 500 to 1,000 years, because we are building those foundations. The businesses that you see that we spoke about here today, those are businesses that are grounded. Those are businesses that are going to be sustained. Those are sustainable businesses. Those are businesses that we also endorse and concur with everything that was said today. So with that said, I'm going to pass it on to my very handsome co-host who's going to take it away.
Thank you. And we have our designate Dr. Arlene Robinson Chaplain, who is a funeral director and mortician. And we have our Dean, Reverend Dr. Anne-Marie Wilkinson Chaplain, who is CEO of Shop Fashion Focus. And also I want to mention, I also helped with administrative work, and I am Director, His Excellency Dakar Eubanks, Chaplain and CEO of Dakar Marketing Tools. And I'm also Director at GODSU.
That's right.
And at my company, Dakar Marketing Tools, we are an international graphic and printing company, providing you with all your marketing needs to help you and your company grow. And our popular products are GODSU African American Bibles, magazines, banners, flyers, branded golf shirts, branded jackets, digital business cards, as well as printed business cards. And we turn your brick and mortar into an e-commerce platform. So I want to turn it back over to my wonderful co-host, the Right Honorable, Her Excellency Dr. Diane Moore-Eubanks, J.D. Chaplain, our Chancellor.
Oh, thank you so much, His Excellency Dakar. And I want to extend a warm thank you, love, and appreciation to all of the alum, all of the leaders here at GODSU, just for volunteering many hours. Everyone here are icons in their businesses. They're top of the line, and yet they don't think it beneath them to take the time. You know, they're not egotistical. What they are is that they are very strong in their feelings, and they know that they are who God has called them to be, and they walk in their definite purpose in power. So in that power sometimes can be misleading, and people think it's being conceited. That's not what it is. It's because you know who you are, you know why you're called, and you're walking in that purpose, in that power. So we thank all of you for taking that time, you know, sending in names, emails, phone numbers, sending in referrals, you know, making sure that our classes grow. We're so grateful to all of you. And I am the chief servant leader here at GODSU as a chancellor. I'm also the provost of our Global Bible Institute. We have outside of the religious programs we have for theology and divinity, we have classes in Africanity, African history, teaching you where religion really started, what the Bible really means, who you are in the Bible, about the the Abrahamic structure. You have the Islamic religion, you have the Hebrew Jewish religion, you have the Christian Protestant religion, just making sure you know where you fall in. And so you don't feel you're beneath anybody. You know, you don't believe that you're less than anybody, but you're walking in the power, because when God looked at himself and looked at you all, he created you in his image. So you know you're powerful, you know you're mighty, you just need to know your history. You need to know who you are, so you walk in that power. And so I'm also been over 20 years, been a licensed financial service advisor, and I look forward to partnering with our brothers and sisters over there at the Minor Football League to make sure that all of our players, all of our managers, all of our GMs, all of our sport managers, they understand how money moves, they understand how money works, and how to, more than anything else, keep it. So we're going to talk about that talk about people's retirement, their long-term care. I'm so tired of seeing people who were celebrities and football players, when they get sick, they have GoFundMe and they're sitting there all broken. We don't believe in that. So we want to make sure that we are part of putting that together and to ensure that folks know that they're building legacies and there won't be a problem to their children when they get sick or when they pass away, but their children will know that they took care of them. And so we're into legacy building. I'm also the president of our United Nations NGO, New Future Foundation, Inc., the Jamaica chapter. Our Dr. Dolores Queen mother has been in the UN now for 51 years. And so we stand with her on that legacy. So with that said, we're so pleased to have our mogul here today, Dr. Richard Myles. We're so pleased to have him. We're so pleased to also have our 20 top workers of God here today. We're pleased to have, our deans and our assistant deans. So I'm going to hand it over to you to take it away.
Yes, so certainly want to remind you to please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you can't wait till next week, look at our previous videos.
Yes.
So thank you and hope you have a wonderful night. And before you go, make sure you listen for the following video.
Yes, we have a great message for you. We love you.
Global Ovid Day Seminary and University GODSU is a 501c3 interfaith e-learning Global Florida Department of Education Commission of Independent Studies approved degree issuing religious institution of higher learning under Florida Statute 1005.061F in Miramar, Florida, a suburb of Fort Lauderdale suburbs. Our curricula include programs like our theology diploma, bachelor's, master's, and PhD programs, which are designed for students called to the ministries of teaching and preaching. Program enrollees include pastors, evangelists, missionaries, and laypersons. Our additional courses: Entrepreneurial Studies, premier self-development courses on wealth building. We also offer a mini course for youth, the Junior Ambassador Youth Public Speaking, to gain professional and personal skills. Chaplaincy Diploma, Love and Spiritual Interfaith and Christian programs. Chaplains are trained, certified leaders attached to either a religious and/or non-religious institution or organization. Cybersecurity IT courses. Our licensed instructor has a 95% pass rate compared to the 30% national average for CoM.C accredited courses, such as Security Plus and Network Plus. 40% of our alum who've gone through our prestigious GODSU honors programs have also previously matriculated through their earned doctorate programs. Our alum include physicians, ambassadors, statesmen and stateswomen, icons and billionaires, religious leaders, titans in business, global philanthropists such as Ambassador of Ghana to the United States, His Excellency Dr. Bafor A.J. Bewa, Ambassador of Nigeria to the United States, His Excellency Dr. Sylvanus Nusufor, billionaire builder and dean, His Excellency Dr. Michael V. Roberts, former Maritime Minister, Government of Nigeria, Honorable Dr. Leke Olawale, President of Fraser Net and Fraser Nation and Power Networking Conference, Dean, His Excellency Dr. George Fraser. Our world-class and esteemed professors include Attorney Her Excellency Reverend Dr. Diane Moore-Eubanks, PhD, Chancellor, Physician Dr. Eric Bizetsky, Clinical Health and Nutrition and GODSU Medical Expert, Physician Her Excellency Rhoda Makinde, PhD, Chief Medical Doctor, GODSU, Medical Missions, Dean Michael V. Roberts, JD, PhD, Dean of Entrepreneurship Studies, Dean George Fraser, PhD, Personal Development Studies, Dean Kyra Eubanks, Dean of Junior Ambassador, Professor Willis Eubanks, PhD, Dean of Cybersecurity Program, Professor Reverend Dr. Joseph Hickman, Associate Professor, Theology Program, Professor Imam Dr. Talib Sharif, Professor Interfaith Program and Chaplaincy, Professor Reverend Dr. William Blake, Theology Program Curriculum Development, Professor His Excellency Dakar, Ethical and Successful Marketing Technique, Entrepreneurial Studies. Blessings!
Spokesperson for GODSU, Ambassador His Excellency Dr. Bafor Ajibewa Chaplain, Ambassador of Ghana to the USA. Can you please give us a brief introduction and how we can get in contact with you in the embassy?
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. The embassy is in Washington, D.C. on International Drive. and we are very accessible. If it's a matter of landmark, we are between Bangladesh and the Israeli embassy. So we are very easy to find. I'm taking the opportunity to welcome all of you to Ghana. If you haven't visited yet, I think you should, because we more or less sit in the center of the earth. And therefore, when the good Lord was doing the business, he was standing on Ghanaian soil. You remember last year was the year of return, where we were trying to honor all those people who left our shores involuntarily, came into this country, had to deal with a language they never heard of, and yet they mastered it enough to write books and sonnets and whatnot. They didn't have much of an education, and the education they tried to provide for themselves was nothing to write home about. But then, again, they became scientists and inventors and whatnot. And in fact, most of them have contributed to the culture of America as it is today. And therefore, we're only asking that they can visit the homes that their ancestors left, see what is available, take a decision whether they would want to get involved. But we would want them to get involved, because for us, we've always considered African Americans as brothers and sisters. So for Ghana, we consider it your home. And home is where you go and they have to take you in. So our doors are open. You might probably recall that in the course of last year, about over 200 African Americans were given Ghanaian citizenship in an open ceremony and such. We do believe that we have a little gem of a country, and we are encouraging everybody to come and put a certain kind of economic stake in it. Those people who came there earlier and made it, we didn't invite them. They just came and took what they wanted. This time, we are inviting you, and we are inviting you as kinsmen. So if the others who were not related and all that came in and made good, there is absolutely no reason why you cannot come and also make good. We need a certain kind of partnership. Whichever way we look at it, wherever we are, people see us first through our pigmentation. And I'm quite sure that that in itself is something, to stand by. And I can guarantee you that those of you who are African Americans, those of us who are Africans from wherever, we haven't significantly had an objection to being called Black. Now that in itself is a binding wire. We should exploit it. Come to Ghana. I'm quite sure you will love it. And I'm quite sure that it will be good for our relationship across the pond, and also for a fair investment, for a fair return. It will be economically a wonderful exchange between African Americans and Ghanaians. Come to Ghana, you'll love it. Am I okay?
You're wonderful. It's great to see you, Ambassador.
It's good to see you. These days, this thing hanging on the necks of all of us makes it very difficult even to make a move.
I know. I miss you so much. So what we're going to do, because normally we do our residency part of our graduation with you at the Ghanaian Embassy, we're going to do it virtually. So we're excited to see you again through the phone August 14th, but know that we love you and know that we miss you, and that we will be in touch telephonically as well as video. So thank you so much for your time, Ambassador, and thank you for being a volunteer. You've been a study volunteer for GODSU for years. You've traveled with us all over the country, from all over the world, and so we appreciate you, and we love you, we honor you. Thank you so much, sir.
Well, it has been My privilege and my pleasure. Thank you very much for making that possible.
Thank you so much, Ambassador.
Okay. You take care.
We will.
Thank you, Ambassador. Followed by an embassy host for GODSU, Minister Dr. Jane Addams, who is the interim DC representative for the Nigerian government to the US. Dr. Jane Addams, can you please give us a brief introduction and how we can get in contact with you in the embassy?
Good afternoon, and thanks so much, Dr. Diane and His Excellency Dakar and everyone present here. It's a great opportunity to meet you and to talk to you. My name is Dr. Jane Addams. I happen to be one of the GODSU alumni, and I owe my appreciation most especially to God Almighty and to Dr. Diane, who has been a mother to us, a very wonderful person. And, you know, sometimes in life, God guides you and brings you in contact with what we call helpers of destiny. And then Dr. Diane happens to be one of those helpers of destiny that God brought me in contact with. And I'm really grateful to God. And also Professor Odu. By his special grace, I happen to be one of the staff, one of the diplomats working in the Embassy of Nigeria, Washington, D.C. I am the acting deputy head of mission, in the diplomatic circle in the United States, the position is the position actually for an ambassador who is the second ambassador in the embassy and is referred to as the deputy chief of mission according to the diplomatic protocol. But in the absence of a nominated ambassador and who has actually retired, so I'm acting in that office as the acting deputy chief of mission. So I'm thankful for this opportunity to be a part and parcel and a family of GODSU because we've come a long way, and I'm also thankful to God for what I have learned so much from GODSU, the spirit of oneness, the spirit of love, the spirit of understanding and reaching out, and so many things that has been able to effect a change, not just in my life, but the people around me, to reach out to people positively. That is what I have learned from GODSU. I remember the day I graduated, it was really wonderful. I wept, you know, in my heart I wept because I didn't expect it, but it happened. And I mean, for God to bring you this far, you have to be thankful to Him and to be able to reach out to people. And given the situation, I wouldn't call it situation, same time, because I know it will soon pass, of this pandemic, it has also helped us to reach out. Each time I refer to my notes on chaplaincy, it has helped me to reach out to a lot of people, to tell them, to encourage them that it's not going to be the same. I have been able to reach out to people to encourage them that irrespective of what you're going through now, God tells us that He has the best for us. And the best for us is because it's going to bring us to an expected end. And what is that expected end? The end of hope, the end of a jubilation, that this COVID will not remain with us, but it will pass over. And for us to pray for the scientists to come up with something that will help humanity. And we're all here to serve humanity. And I tell people the same thing, just like government ambassadors. We are ambassadors of Christ because God has chosen us to serve humanity. The government has chosen us to also serve humanity. So we play as the human ambassadors, but we are spiritual ambassadors when it comes to God. So I really, really want to seize the opportunity to also thank and appreciate the family of GODSU alumni. They've been exceptional for me, that's how I say it, because there are times in life you may not have an opportunity to meet such people who can bring you out, who can present you and make you become global. And that is what GODSU alumni has done for me. Because sometimes people may not really know who you are. I wouldn't have met all of you here if they didn't give me the opportunity. And I want everybody to be thankful and appreciated. So I'm really thankful, Mom. You've been a mother to me. God bless you. Thank you so much. And in the course of my career, it has been wonderful working as acting deputy head of mission to assist the ambassador in carrying out the activities of government. You know, the government's day-to-day activity, to be able to influence positively issues that has to do with your country and where you find yourself, that is the host community. And that's what we're doing, you know, in terms of consular activities, reaching out in terms of, although right now, given the pandemic, we've slowed down, we're actually having skeletal activities in the office. We have rotational, you know, sessions. We still have like 17% who are still working remotely from home. It hasn't actually stopped us from working. We're working remotely from our homes. We're still communicating with our government, and we're doing our best to also, for every ambassador, for every diplomat, the interest of your government is paramount in that particular state where you find yourself.
Yeah.
So the interest of Nigeria is paramount to us in the United States, where it's really a thing of joy that I'm able to talk to very important people here who are also my brothers and my sisters. You know, so thank you so much, Dr. Diane. Thank you, Dakar, for this opportunity you have given to me. I'm grateful.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jane Addams. And it is wonderful to see a woman sitting in the ambassadorial seat of Nigeria, even if it's as interim. And so we are so pleased that you're an alum. We're so pleased that you've opened up the Embassy of Nigeria every time that we've needed to come there as part of our graduation. So we thank you so much. And we're so excited that on August the 14th, we're going to do this again with you in the embassy. And so we thank you for your time. God bless you. And we love you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have helping with entrepreneurial encouragement, Dean His Excellency Dr. Michael B. Roberts, Chaplain, CEO, Roberts Riverwalk Hotel, and author of Action Has No Season 2.0. Can you please give us a brief introduction and how we can get in contact with you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. And Dr. Diane and Dakar, let me just say this. You guys continue to impress the world. There are folks now from coast to coast and outside of our coast here in the United States who are supporting you and listening to you and your training and your teaching. And I can't tell you how proud I am of you and to have been there when you started and to follow that career. And you allowed for so many people to be honored with their chaplaincy and their doctorates. And it just makes a human feel more important and more valuable to the community and to themselves when we're able to honor them the way you've honored them. And I just think you should continue to do this forever. I'm sure you will. I have no doubt. You also have your legacy with your three behind you, your three beautiful children, all of whom are, you know, the brightest and sharpest kids anyone will ever find anywhere. And that's because of the way you and your husband have poured in the leadership and the commitment back to our community. And this is what we need more parents to do. So unlike, you know, the whole more modern term of mentoring where it's sort of a person and a person, what I did was I wrote a book, Action Has No Season, and Action Has No Season 2.0, 2 different books. And I provide the data in there, which is the mentoring data.
Yes.
So therefore, I'm able to mentor literally everyone who reads the book, thousands of people. And it's written in a fashion, I mean, you and I are lawyers, you know, we can write big fancy words and people have to grab the dictionary just to look it up. I recognize the importance of writing it, you know, well, when I was in politics and was an alderman and run for office, whenever we wrote our brochures, you write your brochures about who you are so a fifth grader will understand it.
Right.
You follow me? It can be deep stuff, but it has to be easily to read and understand so that anyone can understand it. And I think that any mentor who's worth their salt has to be able to, whether it's in writing, as I've done it, or face-to-face, they have to be able to come to the level of the person they're talking to and speak to them on that level, but with the more profound result and types of data that you're trying to deploy to that individual. So that's how I kind of define and perceive the concept of mentoring. Well, every day when you wake up, you're given 86,400 seconds. That's the number of seconds in the day. And the moment you think of the moment, it's already gone. So therefore, if you're going to do anything or take action, you need to do it immediately. You don't wait for a certain time in the future in a season to take action. There is no season for action. Action is in the now. It's the existential approach. It's more importantly, it's the actionnaire approach. And as you well know, I coined the word the actionnaire, and that's one who takes their ideas, their dreams, their vision, their passion, and they pursue them with courage and confidence and bravado. But you're pursuing them then, not waiting for something to come your way, hopefully, but more importantly, you make the way. You know, in business, I see people sometimes thinking and lamenting and worrying about how their business is going to do against competition. And I tell them, don't you sit there and cry over what will happen potentially with this competition. You make the competition cry about the fact that you are there.
That's right. I love it. I love it.
Yes. But if your question is what should be implemented the most in today's world within our academic setting, I think we have to do that which we can to help people realize that as we move to the next decade and beyond, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotics will be taking over, and it's going to create a change. Now, it's pretty fundamental. Change is coming, right?
Yes.
In different ways. The question is, will you allow change to control you, or will you control the change? So I say to students and to anyone moving along in an academic world or outside of that, prepare yourself for the change that's coming. Anybody who has a job today that is repetitive in nature, by 2030, 2035, they will not have a job. 50% of the people who have jobs today will not have them because of automation and robotics. We're going to see big changes there. So the question becomes, how do we embrace that and become the entrepreneur that builds on this future dynamic?
Yeah.
And I will tell you that this COVID-19 shift, one that is making us potentially already forced into this futuristic system. Why? How can I say and defend that? Why? Because of what we're doing right now.
Yes.
I mean, normally this would be a face-to-face interview, and it would be an interview that the class of GODSU would have in a room with each other.
Yes.
But how are we doing it? So we're going to have much more of this type of activity, and this is a big paradigm shift. This is shifting as we have been accustomed to the future. And the younger people who are seeing this for the first time, this will be normal for them.
It's true.
And so the question becomes, how are we going to even enhance this experience?
It is, and it's funny because over a decade ago when I sat with you in Atlanta, and I gave you what I thought my vision was, and you put my vision up to another level. And I was thinking of a traditional brick and mortar, and you said online is fine. And the fact that we listened to you, now a lot of the other older, larger institutions now are trying to catch up to us because we've been doing this for a decade after we talked to you. So some of the innovative things that you've come up with is way ahead of other people, and it has prepared us for where we are today. I want to ask, and when I met you, all of my family, my children, my husband, everybody sat down and read Action Has No Season. And now we have Action Has No Season 2.0. What's in Action Has No Season 2.0 that's not in the first book that would get other people ready so they can be a decade ahead the way you have advised us to be?
Well, Action Has No Season 2.0 is a workbook. It will have chapters on how to develop your mindset in business, how to deal with predicaments as a chapter. And after each chapter, I have questions, and I leave lines for you to actually write. So you can actually take a test. More importantly, it's putting a mirror in front of you to look at yourself. So if I read it, if you read the chapter, you understand it, then I may ask you questions in the book that relate to you, and you then answer in writing right there if you wish. I just hope that next time I'm there for a conference, that Dakar will continue to play on my basketball team and not play against me.
Oh, yes, that's true. Because for those who don't know, whenever we get together for our seminars, for our graduations, Dean, His Excellency, is always the captain of the mentors basketball game. And then the younger guys who are like 30s and under are supposed to be the mentee. But because of who he is, he gets to choose his team. And Dakar is always on his team. And between the two of them, they have monopolized and they always win the game. So Dean Kappa here, His Excellency, always wins the game.
I would prefer that if you're going to buy my book, to try to find a black bookstore, and then they would get it online. If you can't do that, then go to Amazon.com and type in Michael B. Roberts. Action Has No Season 2.0, and you'll be able to pull it up right there and buy it right off of the Amazon network. So that's pretty much the only way to do it in today's world. That's the best way to do it, the fastest way. And it's on Kindle too, so you can download it if you wish.
And everybody in here has their own copy, the first one and the second one. And as I said, we're doing a class that will be Action Has No Season 2.0, and they will have to get that as the workbook, and the class will be on Tuesdays or Thursdays. We haven't decided. Right now we have 4 classes going on Thursday evenings, so it might be on a Tuesday evening. We will let you know.
Well, let me add one thing, and I need to thank you also for letting my daughter speak at one of our last graduations. She was very happy to have done that, Megan, and she's written several other documents and position papers. She continues. The original title was going to be Action Has No Season, Roman numeral 2. It was you who said, no, you have to call it 2.0. So I have to give you credit for helping me in the naming of that title. It was you who did that. And I listened carefully to you because you too are a mentor and have been helpful in framing it, the thinking and the thought process of me as well as many others. Well.
Oh, but it's my pleasure, it's my honor, and you know how much I truly love you, Dr. Michael. So thank you so much for being here, being our mentor, and whatever we can do to ensure that others follow in your footsteps, that's what we're going to do.
Can you please give us how we can get in contact with you?
Hello, everyone. It is my email address is ramvrsr@aol.com. That's the old school AOL. I'll repeat it, ramvrsr@aol.com. And that's the best way to reach out to me as well. So it is a pleasure to see our other guests who are online here. And we just had a wonderful dialogue. So I'm very happy to hear from everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Her Excellency Ambassador Erikana Chiombore Kwa is a medical doctor and activist. She's a public speaker, educator, diplomat, founder of medical clinics, and an entrepreneur. She moved to the United States after living many years in Zimbabwe. She's the CEO and founder of Bell Family Medical Centers in the United States. She was the African Union representative between 2017 and 2019. She holds a bachelor's degree in general chemistry, a master's degree in organic chemistry, and a doctor of medicine degree. Chihombore was a family doctor, a family medicine specialist in Tennessee, and she's practiced medicine for over 29 years in Tennessee. And she's also a GODSU honorary doctoral recipient as well, and we're so elated to have her join our GODSU family.
Thank you so much, Chancellor, my sister Diane. I appreciate everything that you're doing. I appreciate the work that you're doing to wake us up. I think as a race, we are going through a very interesting time in history. The 400 years since the children of Africa were taken out of the continent, it's really unbelievable to think that we have been through as much as we have been through, and yet we still have a lot of work to do for us to truly wake up. I find it interesting when you ask them, where are you from? And quite often they will say, almost 100% of the time, I'm originally from Nigeria. Well, if you're originally from Nigeria, where are you from now? It's like I used to be from Nigeria, but not anymore. And they don't realize that's what they're saying. But somehow, we're too busy running away from our primary anchor. Why are we running away from our primary anchor? We were meant to believe that anything to do with Africa was bad and undesirable. We were meant to believe that everything to do with the Black race was bad and undesirable. We were meant to believe that anything that represents who we are is unacceptable, that we should always aspire to be something that we can never be. Allow me to take you to my village of Zimbabwe. Growing up in my country of Zimbabwe, prior to the British coming to Zimbabwe in 1896, we did not have the color black or the color white. We did not know about Jesus Christ. We had our own higher power. We understood there was a higher power. We had our own name of God and intermediaries who we knew. We could not speak and communicate directly with God. We went through our intermediaries. But the British came and told us that everything we believed in was unacceptable, but they introduced their own religion. They told us about Jesus Christ, and they told us about the angels. They told us that the angels were white, and that there was something called the devil, and that the devil was black. They told us about the color black, told us how the color black looks like, and told us how the color white looked like. Then they proceeded to tell us what the angels symbolized and what the devil symbolized. The angels were perfect, everything desirable, but here is the kicker. Even though they don't look white like the white piece of paper they told us it looked like, they said, oh, by the way, we are white. We represent the angels. And oh, by the way, there's something called the devil. Unacceptable, does all the horrible things. You want nothing to do with the devil, and that devil is black. And by the way, you too are black. Now let's all go to church. Let's all pray. And as we worship, we all want to be like the angels. And the angels who just happen to be white. Let's all pray to a Jesus who, even though in the Bible it is clear that Jesus Christ was not white, his color, skin color is described as crimson in some scriptures. We all know very well when Mary and Joseph were trying to run away from King Herod, they were advised to go to Egypt, not Europe. Why Egypt? Because they knew in Egypt he was going to blend with others who looked like him. If he was a white person, they would have advised them to go to Europe. But there he would stand out like a sore tooth. The issue of white angels and black devils was done intentionally. For those were the instructions the missionaries were given when they came to Africa, to criminalize blackness, to make us believe everything black was undesirable, to make us hate ourselves and aspire to be something we can never be, white. The black woman gave birth to the first human being. Why is it then that those who gave birth to humanity are treated as the scum of the earth? Why is it that we are being told that we are inferior, and yet we know the truth? Why is it that we have accepted these lies? I often say a black man who has had a shop in a black neighborhood for years, the minute a Chinaman shows up with his own shop, we will walk right past the black man's shop to patronize the Chinaman. And pretty soon, we are putting the black man out of business. The reality on the ground in your Africa, in our Africa is, and please pay attention to this. Today, as we speak, there isn't a single African country that has the capacity to build a railway line. There isn't a single African country that has the capacity to build an airport. That capacity is in the diaspora. One of the best airports in the world, the most well-run airport in the world, was built by the majority black companies, and majority continues to be run by majority black companies. And I'm talking about the Atlanta airport, the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. And yet, airports are being built every day in Africa by the Chinese, while Africa's children, who are very capable, are sitting in the diaspora. The reason the children of Africa are not building those airports is because the African leaders do not know how to reach them. It's because we are disorganized. We are not united. There's no one place you can pick up a phone call and reach the African diaspora and let the African diaspora know about what is going on in our Africa, because what is going on in our Africa is your inheritance and you deserve to have access to it. Here is the reality on the ground, my brothers and sisters. Come next year, the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area is going to begin. The Chinese, who are already in Africa, are getting ready to quadruple their presence. They're getting ready and mobilizing all their financial resources. The Europeans who have been in Africa for centuries are getting ready to quadruple their presence. Because why? They know that the capacity that is needed to build a sustainable Africa is in the diaspora. It is not on the continent. But they also know that the diaspora, the true inheritors, are fast asleep. So come next year, just picture what's getting ready to come from the West and what is getting ready to come from the East. There is a void in Africa. And that void is what was created by the brain drain that took place over the past 400 years, the brain drain out of Africa. When the slavers took the children of Africa as slaves, they took the best and the fittest that Africa had. And then we have the latest migrants who left Africa in search of greener pastures, some running away from famine and war. The end result is the void that was created by the brain drain. It is precisely the void that is being filled by the Chinese and by the Europeans. The question I have for you, my brothers and sisters, Africa remains the richest continent on earth. In spite of many centuries of exploitation, the colonizers have only taken maybe 10% of Africa's natural resources. There's still plenty of natural resources that belong to you and I. Every day we are discovering more and more natural resources in our beloved Africa. Here is the reality on the ground. Come next year, the question I have for you, children of Africa, there is a seat that has your name. If you do not occupy that seat, others will occupy that seat for you. For you to stop asking the question, why is it that the Chinese are getting the contracts to build Africa? Well, they're getting the contracts because you are missing in action, because you are not available to take over that contract. The reality is the Cape to Cairo highway is going to be built. The Senegal to Djibouti high-speed rail is going to be built, and highways everywhere in between. New cities are going to be built, ports are going to be built. The question is, by who? That is your inheritance. The continent, which is producing 50% of the world gold, the continent which produces the largest amounts of platinum in the world, the continent which is the second largest producer of diamonds, the continent with over 65% of the arable land in the world, the continent which is the largest producer of coltan, I can go on and on and on, is your continent. They are ready to come take everything that's on the continent. The African heads of states are saying, Ambassador, let the children of Africa in the diaspora know that they must come home. They must come and take what belongs to them. You see, the white people are going to Africa poor and they come back rich. The African heads of states are saying, there's nothing wrong with the children of Africa coming home to Africa, investing in Africa, come home poor, and also live your Africa rich. Go back to the United States, go back to Europe and play golf just like they do while your money is working for you in Africa. The time is now, my brothers and sisters. We do not have time to waste. We do not have time to continue to self-hate. We do not have time to continue to distrust each other. I am here to let you know that Africa, if we do not come together this time, is going to be gone for good. The choice is yours. I have registered an entity called African Diaspora Development Institute. This is an entity that I'm hoping we can all come together as children of one mother Africa, that once and for all we can come together and look towards going home once the African Continental Free Trade Area implementation begins. But that this time we are not going to in as fragmented Africans, but rather we are going back home together as a united front, a united, beautiful, intelligent, sophisticated, highly adaptable, and totally indestructible front, family of one mother Africa. Please, I urge all of you to go to our ADDI, that's OUR, and sign up. We want to know who you are professionally. We want to know if you are an organization, if you are a company, what services do you offer? So come time to go home, we want to be able to find you. Let's go home, my brothers and sisters. And for the purposes of waking up, I've also written a book which is called Africa 101, The Wake Up Call. I understand if we are to succeed at coming together, we must understand our history. Africa 101, The Wake Up Call is educating us about our history, what they have done to us during slavery, during colonization, after independence, the games they continue to play with us today, and the reasons why you and I must wake up and unite and realize as children, one mother Africa, we must unite and work towards a common destiny. And that is going home to Africa and claim our inheritance. I thank you.
That is amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you so much, my sister. I really, truly appreciate you. We are in it together. We are a wounded people, and we are only going to survive when we come together. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
welcome, Her Excellency.